This week, a lot of people are hearing the words Parkinson's and care partner in the same sentence because Terry Crews and his wife Rebecca have been speaking publicly about her Parkinson's journey. And every time a story like this hits the news, I think of the same thing. Welcome to what a lot of couples have already been quietly living through for years. Because when Parkinson's shows up, it does not just affect one person. One person maybe gets the diagnosis, but both people feel the weight of it. And here's the part nobody really tells you. Sometimes it's not the obvious big things that make Parkinson's hard on a couple. Sometimes it's the small care partner habits, the everyday patterns, the well meaning things, the things done out of love, the things that seem helpful in the moment, but over time they can quietly make life with Parkinson's harder for both of you. Well, today I want to share 5 care partner mistakes that can accidentally make Parkinson's harder. And not because anyone's doing a bad job, but because this disease is tricky and nobody hands you a manual when it walks through the front door. Some of these are subtle, some of them are sneaky, and the last one is the biggest one of all because it often looks like love when it's happening. So stay with me right to the end because you do not want to miss that one.
Welcome to Living with Parkinson's. The good, the bad, and the reality. Real talk, real life, real community with Bryce Perry. Let's begin.
Hey everyone, welcome back. And if you're new here, my name is Bryce, and I was diagnosed with Parkinson's at the age of 40, and I've been living with it now for over 15 years. And on this channel, we talk about the real side of Parkinson's, the practical stuff, the frustrating stuff, and the stuff that most people living with it and loving someone through it figure it out the hard way and the long way. So today we're talking about care partners because care partners are incredible, right? They are often the glue, the backup battery, the scheduler, the meal reminder, the medication assistant, the emotional shock absorber, and occasionally the person standing in the kitchen wondering why nobody else in the house can just answer one simple question. And stick around because my wife Carmen is here with me again today. And before we get into the final mistake, she's going to jump in because this topic really affects both sides of the house. Okay, so let's just jump into the first one. The first care partner mistake that can quietly make Parkinson's harder for both of you is this: trying to fix everything immediately. Now, listen, this comes from a good place, a loving place. You see someone struggling, right? You see stiffness, you see frustration, you see fatigue, you see them having a rough day. And your instinct is to solve it. Can I help? Did you take your meds? Did you try this? Did you stretch? Do you need water? Do you want me to call? Should we change something? Should we leave now? Should we stay? Should we panic professionally or recreationally? Right? I get it. I get it. When you love somebody, you want to make it better. But Parkinson's is not always a problem that can be instantly solved. Sometimes the person living with it does not need a mechanic. Sometimes they need a minute. And when every symptom gets met with rapid fire fixing energy, it can accidentally make the person with Parkinson's feel rushed or feel monitored, or like they become a broken appliance with a warranty issue. I've had moments where I'm already frustrated with my body. And if too much fixing energy comes at me too fast, my brain doesn't say, wow, what support? My brain says, fantastic. Now we're both stressed. And the simple truth is this: support is not always solving. Sometimes support is slowing the room down. Sometimes support is asking one calm question instead of 6 panicked ones. All right, now the second mistake is one that sounds helpful on the surface, but can quietly chip away at confidence over time. The second care partner mistake is this: doing too much too soon. Now, this one is really sneaky because at first it can look like kindness, and sometimes it is kindness. But there's a very fine line between helping and accidentally replacing someone. You start doing the little things for them, and then a few more things, and then a few more. You grab the plate, you answer the question for them, you tie the thing, you carry the thing, you speak for them. You decide it's just easier if you do it. And again, I understand why. Sometimes it's faster, most of the time. Sometimes it's generally necessary. Sometimes you're just trying to keep the day moving. But when help turns into an automatic takeover, something important can quietly get lost. Confidence, independence, dignity, momentum. With Parkinson's, there are already enough moments where this disease tries to take things away. We do not need to hand over it the keys to the car too early. Now, of course, there are times when help is needed, real help, practical help, safety help. And I'm not saying to make someone struggle through everything just to prove a point. I'm saying it matters to ask, do they need help? Or am I helping because I'm uncomfortable watching it take longer? That's a different question. And sometimes the person with Parkinson's would rather take a little longer and still feel like themselves than have the life turned into a long assisted living commercial before they're ready. All right. Now, the third one is the big one, especially for couples who are trying hard but finding themselves getting more tense with each other. This third care partner mistake is this: turning every reminder into a correction. Now, this one matters a lot because Parkinson's already comes with enough reminders built in. Your body reminds you, your symptoms remind you, your meds remind you, the clock reminds you, your stiffness reminds you, the floor reminds you when walking gets weird. So when every conversation at home starts sounding like another correction, it gets heavy really fast. Did you take your meds? Sit up straight. Slow down. Speak up. Drink water. Use your cane. Be careful. You forgot this. You missed that. Don't do it that way. Now, hear me clearly. Some reminders are necessary, really necessary. Actually, a lot of them are necessary. But tone matters, and timing matters, and frequency matters. Because if the person with Parkinson's starts to feel like every interaction is a correction, home can start to feel less like home and more like a very underfunded rehabilitation center with bad lighting. And that wears on both people. The person with Parkinson's feels criticized, the care partner feels ignored, and suddenly the whole relationship is getting pinched by 1,000 tiny moments. A better question sometimes is, can this reminder sound like support instead of supervision? Same message, different landing. Because with Parkinson's, people often do need reminders, but nobody wants to feel parented by the person they love. Now, the next one, and stay tuned because the next one I think a lot of care partners carry without even realizing how heavy it's gotten. But a quick pause. If this channel is helping you understand Parkinson's better, whether you're living with it or loving someone who is, would you hit subscribe? Because that helps more people find this community. It helps us keep building a space where both people in the Parkinson's equation actually feel seen. And if you could, give it a like, spread it around. The more this video gets liked with that little thumb, the more YouTube shows it to more people. And in the comments, I'd love to hear this from both sides, from people with Parkinson's and from care partners. Okay, if you live with Parkinson's, what is the one thing a care partner does that really helps? And if you're a care partner, what is the one thing you wish more people understood about your side of this? Now, those comments matter. They really do. Because sometimes the best advice in this community does not come from me. It comes from people living it in real time. Okay? And just another quick note, the club. If you're not in the club, you need to get in the club. It's for care partners and people with Parkinson's. So it's completely free. The link's in the description below. If you're a care partner, get in there. You can talk to other care partners. You can talk and strategize, hear their vent even, right? And get some strategy. It's there for you. Okay? All right, well, let's keep going because this next one is quiet, it's common, and it's heavy. The fourth care partner mistake is this: trying to carry all of it alone. Now, this one breaks a lot of people down slowly because good care partners often think they have to be strong all the time. They don't want to complain. They don't want to burden anyone. They don't want to make it about them. And they don't want the person with Parkinson's to feel guilty. So they carry it quietly. The appointments, the planning, the emotional stress, the watching, the worry, the extra thinking, the the invisible checklist running in their head 24 hours a day, like a browser with 57 tabs open and one of them playing music, but nobody knows which one. Ever happened to you? Click me too, or comment me too if that happened to you. But after a while, that catches up. Exhaustion catches up. Resentment can catch up. Loneliness can catch up. And patience starts leaking out in weird little places. And then people feel bad for feeling bad. That's why care partner support matters too. Rest matters too. Community matters too. And being able to say this is hard matters too. Because a burned out care partner doesn't help anyone. Not because they do not love enough. It's because they're human. And if you're the care partner, carrying all of it alone does not make you noble. It makes you tired. Okay, now stay with me because this last one is the biggest one of all. And honestly, it's the one that can quietly reshape the whole relationship if nobody catches it. But just before we get to that, it's now time for Carmen's Care Partner Corner. And today, because this episode is really about her side too, Carmen graciously is here again. So with that, Carmen, it's over to you.
Hi, everybody. I'm back. Um, to stay on topic, I think one of the hardest parts of being a care partner is a lot of what you do is invisible. People may see the person living with Parkinson's and understand that they're struggling, but they don't always see the care partner adjusting things in the background all day long. You're thinking ahead, you're noticing patterns, you're trying to keep meals, meds, rest, stress, timing, travel, and appointments all from colliding all at once. And sometimes you get it wrong. Sometimes you help too fast. Sometimes you say too much. Sometimes your tone is off because you're tired too. And sometimes you're trying so hard to make things easier that you accidentally make it the other person feel smaller. That doesn't mean you're failing, it means you're human and you're learning too. One thing I've had to learn is that support is not just about doing more. Sometimes support is stepping back, sometimes it's waiting, sometimes it's asking ahead instead of assuming. Sometimes it's realizing that Bryce needs dignity just as much as he needs help. And the other truth is, care partners need care too. You need breaks. You need understanding. You need somebody you can talk to. You need room to be frustrated without feeling guilty for it. Because if both people matter in the relationship, then both people matter in the support system too. And I'll leave you with a little Carmenism. With Parkinson's, one person gets the diagnosis, but both people end up needing patience, communication, and occasionally a separate room for 5 minutes or 10, whatever you really need. Thanks, everyone. I hope you take this and I hope it helps. Talk soon.
That is 100% true. Thank you, Carmen. And by the way, that is why I wanted her because this conversation is not just theory. This is real. This is real life in real houses with real couples trying to figure it out. Okay, now let's get to that last one. And this is the biggest one because it often disguises itself as love. It feels noble, it feels protective, it feels caring, but over time, it can quickly do damage if it takes over the relationship. And here it is. The fifth care partner mistake is this: letting Parkinson's become the center of every interaction. This one's big because Parkinson's is loud. It affects plans, it affects routines, it affects sleep, it affects travel, it affects mood, it affects time, intimacy, spontaneity. It affects the whole household. So it makes sense that couples talk about it a lot. But if every conversation becomes about symptoms, medication, appointments, limitations, safety, timing, or what the disease is doing today, something slowly starts to happen. The relationship can start shrinking. You stop being husband and wife. You stop being partners. You stop being two people with a whole history and a personality and a rhythm. And suddenly one person feels like the patient and the other feels like the manager. Now, yes, Parkinson's has to be talked about. It matters. It's real. It affects everything. But it cannot be the only language the relationship speaks. You still have to laugh. You still have to talk about normal things. You still have to be annoyed about regular life things. You still have to be a couple, not just a care plan with matching house keys. And that part matters because when Parkinson's becomes the sun and everything else has to orbit around it, both people can start disappearing a little. And I've seen how easy that is, not because anyone means to do it, but because survival mode is loud. Still, there has to be room for moments that are not just about Parkinson's. Moments that remind you that we are still us. Not every conversation should begin with symptoms and end with logistics. Sometimes it should begin with, what do you want for supper? Or, did you see that dog, what that dog just did? Or, I cannot believe you folded those towels like that and still call yourself an adult. Right? That stuff matters too. It's not silly, it's not small, it's relationship oxygen. Because Parkinson's may live in the house, but it does not deserve to sit at the head of the table. So when you step back and you really look at it, these mistakes are not about bad care partners. They're about how easy it is for love, stress, fear, responsibility, and exhaustion to all get tangled together. Trying to fix everything immediately, doing too much too soon, turning every reminder into a correction, carrying it all alone, and letting Parkinson's become the center of every interaction. None of this means you're doing it wrong. It just means you're in something hard, and hard things need adjusting. And sometimes the best thing a couple can do is to not be perfect. It's just to become more aware of the patterns that are quietly making life heavier. Because with Parkinson's, protecting the relationship is just as important as managing the symptoms. So there you are. And now, you've stayed with me till the end. Here is your Bryce-ism of the episode. With Parkinson's, love helps carry the load, but it should never disappear underneath it. True story. All right, well, if this episode connected with you, share it with somebody who needs it. And in the comments, tell me this. What's the one thing that helps protect the relationship when Parkinson's is in the picture? I'd love to hear from both sides on that one. And again, thanks for being here. Thanks for spending this time with us. I love you guys. I really do. Until next time, I want you to keep showing up. I want you to keep being real. And you keep doing life today. And I'll see you on the next episode.
Parkinson's may be part of your life, but it doesn't get to define it. Thanks for listening to Living with Parkinson's, the good, the bad, and the reality. If this episode moved you, helped you, or reminded you you're not alone, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Want to go deeper? The Inner Circle is waiting. Monthly Zoom calls, 24/7 community, and a direct line to Bryce. You'll find the link in the show notes. Until next time, keep showing up and keep doing life today.